Hello, my name is Melynda Rackley, and I am the inspiration engineer and the host of the podcast titled Rise and Grow. It's a couple of joy to help you grow through your daily struggles. And today I'm going to be going over a few tips and showing you how to get started with your podcast. The first and most important thing I want to say to you before we get into podcasting is to just keep talking. That is the biggest tip and the one thing that has helped me be successful. So I'm going to start with a few burning questions that I know you may have. I certainly did when I started 3 years ago. The first one is, what is a podcast? And then, how does it work? So a podcast is an audio program. It's just like talk radio, but you subscribe to it on your smartphone and then you listen to it whenever you want. So that's why it's called an on-demand content series. It works by being a free service that allows any internet user to pull the files. Usually it's an MP3 file from the podcasting website and listen to it from their computer or whatever their personal digital audio player may be. The next question is, do people really listen to podcasts? And the answer is yes. In 2020, over 155 million people listen to a podcast every week. That's around 20% of the U.S. population, about 68 million. They listen to podcasts weekly. And podcast listeners consume an average of 7 different shows per week. So now the final burning question, how can you get started with a podcast? So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create, record, and release a podcast. Those 3 simple steps will help you get started. That is what I used to get started with my podcast 3 years ago, and I still use this formula even today. So the first step is to create your podcast name, upload your cover image, and then put in a brief synopsis or description of what your podcast is about. This is the first thing that listeners will see before they hear your voice. So creation is very important. Then we're going to go to recording. I'm going to show you how to live stream using Zoom or StreamYard to upload your podcast onto Anchor. You can also live stream on YouTube or Facebook. So I'm going to show you that as well. The next step is going to be editing. You may not have to do much editing, so I'm not really going to dive deep into that. But if you need assistance, let me know and I will assist. The final thing I'm going to show you in Anchor is how to upload your podcast. And then it's all about releasing it. I'm going to give you 3 easy tips. Keep a schedule, engage your audience, and most of all, just keep talking. I cannot say that enough. So let's dig in. How to create your podcast using Anchor. The first thing you're going to do is go to Anchor, and you just go to anchor.fm/sign up to get started. You put in your username as well as your email address, and then make sure that you create a password that you can remember, and check I am not a robot. All right, so once you've signed all in and created your profile, you're going to see at the top of the screen where you have to verify your email address. I recommend you go ahead and do that right away, right now if you can, so that you have it all situated. So just check whatever email address you put in when you create your account, and then it'll bring you right back here to your dashboard. If it does not, all you have to do is refresh the page, and then that prompt should be gone. The next thing we're going to do is actually set up your podcast, which is basically creating your profile. So scroll down and press set up your podcast. All right, so after you have gone to podcast setup, this pop-up box should come, and it's going to be prompting you to put in your podcast name, a description, and then to upload an image for your podcast. So as you can see here on the screen, you can put in whatever the podcast name for your podcast description. It doesn't have to be long or drawn out. Just tell us what it's about. And then you have to choose a category. I'm going to put a how-to because this podcast is just going to be telling you how to do things. You can put any category you'd like. And then the last thing you have to do is select a language, English, Spanish, whatever it is that you're speaking, you select that language. And then it goes to your cover art. So my recommendation is going to be upload an image that is bright and inviting, nothing too dark, because again, this is going to be one of the first things listeners see before they hear your voice. So as you can see in my image, there are words already. So what I'm going to show you how to do is turn off the text, because it's automatically going to be some text on the background of your profile. So you're going to see where it says apply text, turn that off so that it takes off whatever the text is. And the text is just going to be the name of your podcast, but you don't need it if your profile picture has words. And also the bottom one is for the Anchor logo. You don't have to have that on there, so you can also disable that. If you need the text, there is options on the top right, and you can change the font however you like if you are needing that text to be on your picture. I recommend you upload a picture that already has text so you don't have to do that. Once you're done with your text and taking off the Anchor logo, you can move to the next step. The next step is going to be pressing yes that you're ready to distribute your podcast. This is so when you actually have uploaded your first episode, Anchor will automatically distribute it to these podcast outlets for you, and you don't have to manually go in and put it in those platforms. So now that that is complete, you can get moving to the next step, which is creating your first episode. As you can see here on Anchor, you can go to episodes and it shows you that you can record live in Anchor. You also have a library where you can store audio clips that you don't use. You have music that you can add to your episodes, messages you can live message, and then transitions you can put in between on your segment. So for your library, again, this is where you can upload things. You can drag your files, and let's say you decide you don't want to use that file, you can always just keep it in your library for a different time. I like to keep my introduction in the library. That way I can just paste it to each clip right before the session comes in, and then an outro right as my episode is ending. So on the screen here, you'll see that I'm showing you how to upload an episode in Anchor. Just a few quick notes here. You are able to delete an episode once you put it in if you decide you don't want it there. But you can see here that it does show up on the left hand side in the library, and it also has a preview at the bottom. So if you wanted to actually upload that episode, you could press play at the bottom to preview it, just so you make sure you are listening to the right thing. And then if you decide to record inside of Anchor, you have to enable the device that you're using. So as you can see up at the right, you have to press allow in order to record on your computer. And it's probably going to say the same thing for your cell phone if that's the device you choose to use for recording. Here you can press start recording now inside of Anchor. You can select what output it comes to Anchor through, and then it'll be just like a regular episode as well. Again, it does go into the library. If you decide you don't want to use that clip, you can always go into the library and delete it or add it to another session. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to use StreamYard to live stream your broadcast. The first thing you're going to do is create your StreamYard profile, and it's going to have a code you have to put in. So check the email that you used in order to put that code in. and you'll see me doing it all on the screen. Alright, so once you verify the email and the code, it's going to bring you to this place where it says add a destination. You can connect your profile to YouTube, and that's very simple. If you have a Gmail account, you can just press that Gmail account and you'll be able to live stream from YouTube, and you can connect your YouTube to Facebook. So my recommendation is to connect it to YouTube, but if you don't have a YouTube page or profile, then just try Facebook to get started. But you can follow all of the prompts on the screen and it will help you to get set up with YouTube. It will take about 24 hours, so please do not do this on the same day that you plan to record. If this is your first time, please try to get all this set up a day or two beforehand so you'll be ready to go when it is time to live stream. Once you've completed that, you are ready to do your first broadcast. This is going to take you to the YouTube broadcast studio. You can also just record an episode and not live stream it, and I think that's what I just did on the screen. So you'll see here that you are able to add your name at the bottom of the screen and viewers will be able to see it. You can also add different viewers or different co-hosts into your episode with you, special guests, and you can have a different banner for them. You'll see on the screen all of the different things that you can do with StreamYard, and you can add, I believe, up to 3 different people into one podcast or one streaming episode. This is a really cool feature, the countdown timer. You can put this up 30 seconds before your live stream is going to get started, and also you can customize the logo. I have a free StreamYard account here, so you'll see that it says powered by StreamYard, but if you pay for it, that will go away and you'll be able to put whatever your logo is at the top of the screen. Once your broadcast has ended, it is going to give you the option to download it. So you go ahead and download that recording, and then you are going to upload that to Anchor. So you click back on Anchor and then just insert that recording there, whatever the name of it is that you selected, upload it on your computer. You preview that episode to make sure it's correct, and voila, you have live streamed and you've recorded your episode and you are ready to post it on your podcast. It will be available on Anchor first, and then it'll take about a day to do the other platforms. So you see here I'm putting in the episode title and the episode description, and then you are good to go with posting your first episode. Once your episode has been published, go ahead and copy that link. I do recommend that you send that out in a mass text or email, whatever your preferred platform may be, and that's going to allow your listeners to know that you have uploaded a new episode. If you decide you don't want to publish any episode, you can go to your dashboard and delete it, and I'll show you how to do that. So this is your public site. If you press view public site in your top dashboard bar, then you'll see here it says just keep talking demo. That's what we just did, but since there's really nothing on that, I'm going to delete that. So you go to episodes, click the 3 little dots, and then you delete the episode and it's all gone. The final thing I'm going to show you is how to set up your Anchor profile so that you can make a little bit of money. So if you just follow along on the screen, I will show you how you can get to that place in the Anchor dashboard. It's very simple. If you ever get lost or confused, just click money at the top of the Anchor dashboard and it'll walk you through everything that you need to know. Alright, so thank you very much for tuning in to this quick tutorial on how to get started with your podcast. And remember, the first and most important thing that you must do in order to have a successful podcast experience as a host is to just keep talking. If you need any help or if you would like follow-up assistance, please shoot me an email. My email address is rackhousepublishing@mail.com. That's RACKHOUSE publishing@mail.com.